Well, a very warm welcome to you on Sports Update this morning, the very first edition in 2024, still in the spirit of newness to keep the Happy New Year compliments alive, because gradually work is already taking off and we are not left behind. But then we have to keep you up to speed with everything happening in the world of sports. My beautiful colleagues are right here with me. My name is Marco Tabo, and they've ensured that I never walk alone. TVC, how you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Is that a preview of who will win this match?
I don't understand. Coming from someone who doesn't have any affiliation with Liverpool.
I know you guys got me covered. First of all, you know, we never had the chance to really have this collaboration.
Yeah, that's true.
Last year. And I wanted to actually ask you, I know Mike was teasing you about the TVC communication game.
Yes.
Coming with the trophy because you were playing the tennis.
Yeah.
So,
but I didn't see him with any trophy.
Did it beat you?
But it was more of the officiating.
So how
I was
you?
disqualified.
Really? Why? What happened?
I don't know.
You beat someone's ear?
No.
All right, moving on now. The Confederation of African Football, CAF, on Thursday announced a 40% increase in the prize money for the winner of the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations in Côte d'Ivoire. Now, in a statement released on CAF's website, cafonline.com, this year's winner will receive $7 million from initial $5 million. The runner-up will get $4 million instead of $2.7 million, and each of the two semi-finalists will receive $2.5 million. Now, for the quarterfinalists, each of the four teams will get $1.3 million. According to CAF President Patrice Motsepe, the football body has made significant progress over the past 2 years in increasing the prize money of the AFCON and all its other major competitions. Now, this year's edition will kick off on 13th January and end 11th February. Now, guys, I think this is a very, very fantastic boost in the tournament, because we understand how money can play a very beautiful incentive with giving players the morale to play. But then, back in the day, we understand that football was all about passion. The money wasn't so much of a problem back then. People wanted to see their favorite footballers on the turf. But now it's looking like, look, we're playing for the money and survival now, because it's a sport that doesn't have much longevity.
Or maybe the money fuels the passion more.
The way you do your hands.
It fuels it, you know.
But what's your overview with all of this?
You see, as much as when I heard about the money and all of that, I actually thought about that thing that, look, we had players in those days who wouldn't care so much about the money. And what has changed? And today we look at the national team and then we see that there is no passion in the way they play. In fact, the calls for Ahmed Musa to really come in spite of the fact that we know that he might not play, but because when he dons the colors of the national team, there's something else that comes into it. That's the kind of player that even if he doesn't get a match bonus, he'll probably play. So what is happening now? The money is now there, but these players are still not giving it their all. And so that becomes a problem. So what do we do now to incentivize them? How do we ginger them? If the passion, the money is not there, then what's the problem? So for me, the money, as it were, it is not getting. We're still not getting the best from them. Okay,
now he said the players are not doing more even despite the money. Are you sure it's about the players or the quality of the players being scouted to represent their countries?
Come on.
Because now we understand that people have been complaining so bad that even the real talented players playing on the street don't get visibility. There's this guy I saw on Instagram lately. He was doing his props online and telling the followers that, look, somebody told him, you want to throw away your life.
So who are we talking about here? The Super Eagles, right?
The Super Eagles.
I remember Zambia won the AFCON under Leonard. And if you look at the quality they had compared to the Super Eagles, they were no match. So trust me, it has nothing to do with, maybe the players are not good enough. The 2013 winning team, 11 years ago, they were not of this quality that we have now. We have two victors that are doing so well for their clubs. We have Ndidi, of course, he won't be able to play because he's injured. But the quality we have now, they are not bad at all.
The quality is not bad, but we saw what happened in the build-up of the qualifiers.
Well, that is up to them because of...
To step up.
Yes, their seriousness. The seriousness, they don't take the country too serious. I remember when we lost out on the World Cup, and then from the dressing room told us a lot of how these players feel. They were so nonchalant. They were just... we couldn't wait. They couldn't wait to go back to their various, European clubs. Just get back to their lives.
Well, you can also relate that to the way they've been treated when they get here. Like, of course, the sentiments out there is the fact that our administration with football has been an issue for a long time.
Very much.
And everybody has been saying, for how long are we going to keep going back and forth?
Administration problems lie everywhere.
It doesn't lie
every
everywhere.
country has
Germany
it.
has a
Even in Europe, really.
Football is not like it's really not like us.
Ours is extra
to some extent. But every country has their own administrative problem. I remember the Mesut Ozil issue with Germany and everything. Everybody have their own problems. We can't always use that as excuses not to qualify for tournaments or not to win tournaments. Who are you doing? You're doing yourself.
It's about
yes.
When you go up there,
you're doing yourself. Why not go to the pitch?
Then now you're coming on the pitch.
Come on.
I was telling somebody, if we pick a TVC team here, Oga, 5 passes, pass move, basic simple football. It seems they don't know.
Mike Mexicano, you're missing.
I'm telling you,
you're missing out. You're missing out something.
Okay.
If I'm saying administration, I'm still going to hold forth with that because you discovered that sometimes the quality of the coach that is meant to actually supersede, it's always
that one. Yes, coaches. Yes, no.
Okay, you heard
if you're talking about coach, yes,
how some part of his salary is being paid to a particular person, and that's why he's there.
Yes, now.
And before this time, I would say that something like that is the issue. That means that this guy, there's a percentage.
Then why do you think it can't be sacked? You can't sack somebody you're owing.
Yeah, and then you're owing and all of that. So you see, that one is a major issue. I mean, look at the coach.
The NFF is a series, season film.
All right, moving on to the next story. Now, countdown to the start of the Africa Cup of Nations. The tournament will be held in Ivory Coast. The second time the West African country will host the event. The championship was previously scheduled to hold in the summer of 2023, but will now start on the 13th of January and end on the 11th February. Now, 24 teams will be jostling for the ultimate crown, the Africa Cup of Nations title. Now, the teams are drawn in 6 groups, A to F. Group A has host nation Cote d'Ivoire, Nigeria, Equatorial Guinea, and Guinea-Bissau. In Group B, we have Egypt, Ghana, Cape Verde, and Mozambique. Of course, Group C, you have defending champion Senegal, Cameroon, Guinea, and Gambia. Group D consists of Algeria, Burkina Faso, Mauritania, and Angola. We have Group E, Tunisia, Mali, South Africa, and Namibia, while Group F has Morocco, DR Congo, Zambia, and Tanzania. Now, guys, we are expecting Ibu Kwaluko to join us on Zoom to have, but before he comes on, now, the group scheduling that you saw so far, I know that there are usual suspects there that you expect that will bring up that rivalry and bring that frenzy on.
Sure.
Do you think this particular tournament might be different with the outcome? Because the last time, I discovered that we were very pumped for the AFCON tournament. When Nigeria was going for this tournament, we had the Guavon at the helm as a manager, and we felt, oh, finally a Nigerian is there, maybe a replica of what Stephen Keshi did.
And then it started well in the
knockout stage as we saw. So now, it doesn't seem like we're so pumped this time around. It's like Nigerians feel, let's not expect too much.
It's the mood.
It's the mood.
The whole uncertainty, the whole issues happening with the board, the administrative part, the whole Pesero is not good enough, this and that. And then if you look at the squad we're bringing as well, we have more of attackers than midfielders or creators in that squad. Indeed, he's now even out. Someone who I'm even looking at, it should help us a little bit. All
right, I've been told that Ibu Kwaluko is standing by. Ibu Kwaluko, good to have you on the show this morning.
Good morning, Mark. Good morning to everyone right there. It's good to see you guys.
Good to see you.
Once again, hope you're good, Mark.
Fantastic. Happy New Year to you, by the way.
Happy New Year, Happy New Year.
Okay, well, we're talking AFCON now. This is the season, and everybody is all about it. Even though the expectations are not so up there, we understand that regardless, Super Eagles, we've seen them turn out in training, and we've seen the collaboration in camp, and we've seen the quality of players that have gathered already. So we expect that regardless, they're going to put up a fight. Now, why do you think this particular AFCON tournament doesn't have the frenzy and that agitation that it used to have? Because Nigerians just seem like a bit laid back with this particular one. And some people don't seem to be looking forward to it. But we sport lovers, regardless, we are always behind the team.
I think if you say people are not looking forward to it, I myself in particular, I'm looking forward to it because we have a squad that has more like the best attacking side in the competition. And one thing we should expect from that is that we'll start off with Equatorial Guinea first game. The second game is against Ivory Coast, and the third is against Guinea-Bissau. But the two teams that we should be expecting to play more like a low block style of formation has to be Guinea-Bissau and Equatorial Guinea because of our attacking prowess. You have Victor Osimhen, Boniface, you have Sadiq Umar, who is doing so well with his side as well. So when you are saying we are not looking forward to it, maybe the antecedents, maybe the way we've been playing in the last 5 games, how we've been struggling to even beat the likes of Lesotho, Zambia and the rest. But African continent, it has always been a very tight contest. Go even look at Egypt, look at Senegal, look at Ghana, look at Cote d'Ivoire. It's still difficult to play against any African side. So you really cannot say that the Super Eagles would not do well at the AFCON. I think with the squad we have, all we just need to do is get the right set of players to play against these teams, and I think we should be able to get the right result against any of the opposition at the AFCON. Maybe Egypt, maybe Senegal, or maybe Morocco might be ahead of us. But in terms of the qualities we have, don't forget we have the best player currently in Africa playing for us. So I think that should be able to count for Nigeria as a whole. And hopefully, Jose Peseiro would also bring out a formation that should be able to do well at the AFCON for us.
Ibukun, thank you for mentioning that that Peseiro getting a better tactics that will work for us, because right now we are short in midfield, especially, and we have more of attackers, like you mentioned as well. But trust me, these attackers would not score if there are no creators. If you know that, so definitely, how would Peseiro set up this team that would cover that deficiency that we have in midfield?
Well, if you are conversant with Nigerian Super Eagles, I think our problem has always been the creative position of the department. And even during the time of Genaro, the time of Eguavon, it's still the same thing. It's still what we are battling. Don't forget, we have Joe Aribo. We have, what's his name again? These guys are placed for Fulham, you know. What's his name? Iwobi, Alex Iwobi. We have Frank Oyeka, and we have Abdullahi, who just got invited. So a lot of these things, you look at it and you want to say that I think all we just need to do is bring in Ian Acho to support the midfield, because he has always been like that. Yeah. Just play behind the striker. Yeah. You have Onyeka, who is very solid at the back. He's a solid midfielder. You see him at Brentford. You see how he covers ground, how he's always everywhere. Then you have to support him with Iwobi, who you know always runs around as well. When we play the likes of Equatorial Guinea, I said it, when we play Guinea-Bissau, these guys play low block. So we need players who move with the ball well, who can play defense-splitting passes, who can shoot the ball, who can find the net easily. Because I think our attackers will have problem, playing against this side. So when you have Onyeka, when you have Iwobi, when you have Ian Acho, these are guys that I feel that can create chances. And I think for me, Jose Peseiro, there is really no better midfielder out there. I'm sorry to say, I think these guys should be able to get the job done at AFCON.
All right, before I let you go, I know that we've got lots to talk about. I cannot leave this particular issue without talking about the goalkeeper department that has been giving us headaches. And we understand that Vincent Enyama has joined up, and hopefully he might be of great importance to give the team some kind of morale with his experience. So do you think we might be falling short in that department moving forward in this tournament?
That was a big question. The goalkeeping department as well, Mark, you know how difficult it is getting the best of the best to keep for Nigeria. I think you can only mention few goalkeepers along the years that we can say they've been exceptional, and Vincent Enyama is part of them. Enyama already said that he's going to the camp just more like a courtesy visit, not as a goalkeeper trainer. So Uzor is someone who has been to the World Cup. Uzor has been to the Nations Cup. Uzor has seen it all. And I feel that maybe Nigerians should start being confident in this guy. I remember when Uzor started with the Super Eagles of Nigeria, it was everything for us. Everyone was clamoring. I saw him at Uyo when I traveled to Uyo to cover the Super Eagles game. I spoke with him. I know what he can do. So the most important thing is that they said a keeper is as good as his defense. My worry now is, who are the defensive pairing? Is it going to be Trustekong, and is it going to be Semi Ajayi? Is it going to be Omero? So who are we pairing as the defense? Because I feel that if we have a solid defense that can cover up for the maybe the inabilities of our goalkeepers, we should be able to get the job done. But if I'm to pick any of the three keepers, I think I'll go with Uzor, who has the experience and who has seen it all with the Super Eagles of Nigeria.
All right, Ibiki, before I let you go quickly, we understand that the sentiment will always remain that we want Super Eagles to excel in this tournament. Now, which team do you think might still come as a big threat? Or which team do you think might pull up another surprise? Do you think Senegal might maintain defending that trophy? Do you see any other team coming to cause an upset?
Mark, my worry is North African side. I think you look at their transition, and that's the problem we always have when we play against them. Their transition is fast. They play more like this European football style, the way they transit from defense to the attack, very pacey guys, pacey wingers, always holding on to the ball. I think Morocco has to be the team that everyone will be scared of. Like I said, we have the best player in Africa. All it needs to do is to get the service. See, I'm telling you today, if we meet Senegal, I think we should be able to beat Senegal. If we meet Ghana, I think we should beat Ghana. Ivory Coast, the only team, even Egypt, the only team I think will be a stumbling block for the Spikes of Nigeria has to be Morocco. We know what they can do. We saw what they did at the World Cup. We saw what they did at the last Nations Cup. And you can always say that this team has a very solid side and they all play together. They understand each other compared to what other teams have in Africa. So the only team I think should be a stumbling block for Nigeria is Morocco.
All right, thank you very much, IBK, for your time. We appreciate the fact that you took your time to actually break down everything. Let's hope for the best, and maybe we'll come back again and celebrate. Thank you so much.
Yeah, all right, you're welcome. Thank you.
Well, guys, it's clear. At least we have
come on.
If they say we bring us something, we would have been tackling ourselves. That's why I decided to just
because
first of all, the keeper is not as good as his defense. The Gear was player of the year for 4 seasons, and he had a terrible defense. He was Manchester United's player of the year. How can we have confidence in somebody that does not exude confidence?
And what do you mean by if you beat Senegal, you win? You could barely beat.
We could barely beat. All right.
Let's
get away from that.
Too much faith in these guys. Too much.
Moving on to the last. Now, Liverpool will go all out to repeat a good fun of chasing 4 trophies as they did in 2022, despite a risk of burnout. Now, Jurgen Klopp's side faced 2 big cup ties in 4 days with an FA Cup third-round trip to Arsenal on Sunday, followed by a Carabao Cup semi-final first leg against Fulham at Anfield on Wednesday. They are also top of the Premier League and into the knockout stages of the Europa League. For Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta, any game with Liverpool stares the juices. Once a blue, always a blue is a mantra those with deep-rooted Everton connections live by. Having spent 6 years on Messi's side, Arteta is familiar with the sentiment. He's familiar with the frenzy that comes with it. Arteta is fully Arsenal, but does the Evertonian in him come out on such occasions? Guys, sadly enough, Arsenal were demoted during the festive season. It went straight to 4th. And, of course, the conversation started again.
They were demoted.
They're not demoted
themselves.
It's
just like when you come home to your mom and say, they gave me C.
Now, it brought me back to the Mikel Obi's podcast, where he asked Jose Mourinho and said, who do you think would come out top?
Boss, no Arsenal. Say, nah.
So I don't want to sit here and castigate Arsenal because Arsenal, let's give it to them. They've been consistent for the past 2 seasons now. You know, they ran for the title last time. This time around also, you can't rule them out regardless. Of
course you cannot.
Things might turn out good for them or otherwise. So now, with the FA Cup tie on Sunday with Liverpool, do you see any...
This is their best chance.
Yeah, I was just about to say the same thing.
Okay.
So they need to take it serious. And
they should take anything serious.
And I think that with Szoboszlai injured and, of course, with a lot of players going... I mean, he has 2 players leaving for AFCON and the Asian Cup. So Klopp has said that he's going to rotate. So you see the Harvey Elliott's coming. You see the Duak coming. You see the younger boys, Curtis Jones coming. So this is the best chance Arsenal have to beat Liverpool. Because for that title, no, they don't have the mental fortitude. They don't have the cup. They've shown it. I mean, look at what happened against Fulham.
Fulham and West Ham.
And West Ham. They don't. They cannot. They don't have what it takes. So this is the best chance of getting a trophy. Well, so they should go for it.
I disagree with you. They have what it takes.
They have what it takes.
So,
that was 13,
first trophy. 14 times?
Yeah.
I mean, they won it the most times.
Do you have any predictions at all?
Trust me, even with the depleted squad, Liverpool can still nick.
I think
all that Evertonian style. Why didn't they come out when they were at the Anfield?
I think Arsenal will take it.
Okay, maybe.
For me, I think Arsenal.
Maybe.
All right, you guys, you need to cut these guys some slack. I mean, they're pretty young players there too.
I'm sorry, but what is an elephant doing on top of a tree?
The tree, he go definitely fall.
All right. Crack. Well, thank you so much. That's the most we can take on sports updates. We leave the rest of the show for Kemi and, of course, to take over right now. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.